Welcome to the Blind Justice Podcast, where you discover the insider secrets of injury and accident cases, and all of your law questions get answered. Now, here's your host, Chicago injury lawyer, Scott DeSalvo.
Hey guys, Scott DeSalvo here, talking about injury stuff, which is what we do, along with my lovely and talented co-host,
Amelia Finnefrock,
who sings, amongst other things.
I would sing today, but I'm recovering.
Uh-oh, you're recovering from what? What happened?
A cold.
Oh,
yeah.
Here I was
not
hoping
that kind of
for
fun recovering.
No, not Ebola nor an epic
God.
Something or other.
I hope not. Well, it was my birthday this past weekend.
Oh, congratulations on another year.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Recovered from being 23, now 24.
So it stinks that you get a cold on your birthday, right?
Yeah.
Ugh, yuck.
Yeah. But it made me appreciate, all the times I wasn't sick on my birthday.
Yeah, that's true. Allergies have been driving me crazy with this crazy spring weather.
What do you take for allergies?
Often nothing, but then, I take the over-the-counter stuff, Zyrtec or Claritin, and I'm just recently been using nasal spray.
How's that been working out?
Which I never used it before. And then one time a few years ago I had a really bad cold, and the doctor prescribed me some nasal spray, and it worked fantastically well. So I don't overdo it, but
so now you're a nasal guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny. There must be something wrong with me because it's everybody, it seems knows about nasal spray. Mm-hmm. And for 40, almost 50 years, I never used nasal spray. And now I'm wow, what a useful tool that's been on the shelf that I've been walking by for years, right?
Right. Well,
Crazy.
It did kind of gross me out when I was who does that? But then I also recently became a believer.
Yeah.
I
guess you can, if you overdo it, it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Just with anything.
Yeah, that's true. Nasal spray in moderation.
Yeah. Did you hear that, folks?
So what we're doing, we're continuing answering listeners' questions, and today we're talking about a Chicago car crash case. So, Amelia, why don't you take it away?
You got it. I was just involved in a crash. I was in the right lane on the expressway, and the guys driving next to me to my left was going faster than me. He changed lanes without passing me and caused my car to spin out. I called his insurance company, and they will not tell me anything. My doctor bills are piling up. Do I have a good case? And what do you think my case might be worth?
Yeah, so it's funny because those are the two most common questions I get from everyone, no matter what kind of case.
I was going to say.
Is it a good case? What's the case value? So lane change cases can sometimes be tricky, right? So if you think about it, if you've got two cars traveling next to one another and there's a collision, either both of them were moving towards one another or one or the other caused the whole thing, right? My experience is it's usually one guy changing lanes into somebody else's lane and he doesn't see the other driver, right? The problem is, unfortunately, people don't always tell the truth when the police arrive, or especially when their insurance company gets involved, right? So how do we prove who did the lane change, right? If it's a he said sort of situation.
Right.
So anyway, the point is...
Lie detector test? Is there an app for that yet?
Is there more than one person in your car? It comes back to, do you have a witness? Or do they have a witness, right? Either way, it's multiple... if you're the only one in your car and the other guy has three people in his car and they're credible, that can start being a tough case. Vice versa, if you have a passenger and they don't, there's strength for you there, right? Mm-hmm. But the other thing I always do with lane change cases before really telling people what I think about it is I get the crash report. Because many times a police officer or a state trooper will note which lane the collision occurred in, where the vehicles came to a rest. So the position of the vehicles is pretty strong, right?
You can't argue with that.
Right. So if our guy, in this case, our guy's in the far, did he say? Yeah, he's in the far right lane.
Yeah, right lane.
Yeah, so if he's in the far right lane and the cars come to a rest on the right shoulder, it is more likely that a car from a left pushed him onto the shoulder than it is that he lane changed to the left and yet both cars somehow ended up
No.
on the right shoulder, right?
Right.
So the police report and the position of the cars, and that's why I always encourage people, whether they're hurt or not in a crash, always get some photos
That's smart.
with your cell phone, right?
It takes a second.
Sometimes you forget to do it, but where the damage is on your car, where the cars come to a rest, if there's debris on the road, even those sorts of photos, and then
Right.
getting a copy of the police report. But those are the things we look for. Now, the other thing I noticed about your question is you don't say if you were hurt or how bad you were hurt or what your medical care was, right? So without knowing, so there's three parts to a case, right? The first part is, did somebody do something wrong to you? Second, did you get hurt and to what extent? And the third is the person who hurt you rich enough to pay for what they did, or do they have good enough insurance to cover it, right?
Valid questions.
Right. So without knowing like the degree to which he was hurt, things like amount of medical bills, lost time from work,
Right.
whether the injury is permanent, all this sort of comes into, what's the case value? I mean, so his two questions are, do I have a good case? Well, this is certainly a case I'd sign up in my office and we'd investigate it. And so I would say to that extent it's a good case. But as far as case value, we really need a little bit more information before we can really tell.
Right. Yeah. I'm surprised that we didn't see that either. But
Yeah.
that's,
Well, it
happens.
If
I'm
you
sure.
don't know, you don't know. But
Right.
so here's the interesting thing, my big announcement. Ooh, so exciting.
Drum roll, please.
Because I get these questions over and over and over. Do I have a good case? What's my case worth? I actually created a couple of quizzes on my website.
Ooh.
So people can go to my website and take these quizzes, and I'll eventually put buttons and links to the quizzes on my homepage so it's easy to find the quizzes. I haven't done that yet. But the quizzes, I just released the quizzes, and eventually there'll be links on my homepage. And
Cool.
my website is DeSalvoLaw.com. So my last name, LAW.com.
Nice.
And so right now, if you want to go directly to the quizzes, they would be www.desalvolaw.com/injury quiz. And that's the do I have a good case quiz.
That's so smart.
So literally
That's
you
great.
just answer some questions and it will give you some insight
Nice.
as to what the case is. And then I also created another case that answers the question, what's my case worth?
Right.
So that one's located at www.desalvolaw.com/case worth. CASEWORTH. So /injury quiz and /case worth. That's where the two quizzes are. Quizzes are free, no obligation, no required sign up, no login, no nothing.
None of that.
So they're 100% free. And the other thing I should mention is that they're informational. So
Right.
just like we give advice on the podcast, and there's all kinds of advice on my YouTube channel, all kinds of advice
Yes.
on my website, if you have a case, don't just take informational stuff to substitute speaking with a lawyer.
Yep.
So I hope you guys will enjoy the quizzes. I hope that this answer helps this fellow who had a crash on the expressway. But I'm pretty excited about the quizzes. They're pretty
Yeah.
cool.
What a cool idea.
Well, I occasionally come up with a good one. And hopefully you folks will enjoy them. And Amelia, unless you have anything else, we'll say goodbye for this time.
Quiz away, my friends. Quiz away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, and have a great week. Thanks for listening. I truly hope that the information in the podcast helps you no matter the situation you find yourself in. But you might need more answers or some more direct help. So there are 3 ways for you easily to find out more and to get help. If you call my toll-free 24-hour helpline, 888-HURT-318, you'll have a couple of options. 888-HURT-318 is my toll-free 24-hour telephone line. You can call that number and speak with my team night or day. First, you can call 888-HURT-318, and you can speak to me for a free consultation about your case or situation. That's always free and no obligation. Second, you can tell the operator that you'd like a free copy of my injury DVD and book. I created the DVD and book, and I give it away for free to injured people who need answers, but who might not be ready to talk to a lawyer yet. Same deal, 100% free, 100% no obligation. information. Third and finally, you can check out my YouTube channel for informative videos about the injury case and claims process, or check out my other podcasts for more information and interesting interviews with people who know different things about various aspects of the law. I've put all of this together to help you and to answer your questions. Now, you can also help me, and I hope that you will. If you enjoyed the podcast and if it helped you at all, please subscribe, and if you can, take a minute and please post a positive review of the show. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you know anyone who might enjoy the podcast, please spread the word and share it on Facebook. It's my mission to spread good information to as many people as possible, and your liking and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast helps me get the word out. Thanks again. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It doesn't substitute for consulting with a lawyer. If you have a case, speak with a lawyer right away.